My name's Luke Stevenson, and I'm 35 and I'm a fireman. I'm always trying to trick people, if you know what I mean. I'm fun, I like to have a laugh. If I'm not at the fire station on duty doing my 2 days and 2 nights, I'm at home with the family, doing the school run, pick up, drop off, just trying to be the best dad I can, really. It's a great job, I've really enjoyed doing it. I like the fact you get to help people, and you never know what you're going to. Every day's different. One day you could go to a car accident, straight from there to a house fire, straight from there to helping an animal stuck in some mud. One negative is what you see. Some of the stuff you see and have to deal with is pretty stressful and not very nice. Just the people you pull out of fires, the ones that don't make it, yeah, or the ones that are in the car accidents that it's too late by the time you get there. That's the stuff that stands out the most. Definitely does stick in your head. You just have to find ways of managing it, which 2 years ago I couldn't do. I'm just getting my head around it now, really. A lot of counselling to get where I am, and yeah, Pranic Healing is up there helping me.
So how I would explain it to someone who was sitting down, say like you were sitting down in my clinic for the very first time, I just explained that Pranic Healing is based on a transference of energy from one person to another. So an example of that is, do you in your life, when you're at work, when you're at school, or when you're studying or with family, have people around you that make you feel really, really good? When you're around them, you feel really, really good. Cool, most of us do, right? Also, the other side of the coin, do you have people that make you feel really quite drained when you're around them? So like drains and radiators or energy vampires. So logically, we feel this going on, don't we? So if it's going on, there must be some way in order for it to go on, because everything has to have a formula or have to have a mechanism behind it. Prana means energy, so Pranic Healing is energy healing. First thing I say is don't get wrapped up in the word healing. A lot of people think that's a bit out there, it's a bit woo-wah way. It's really not. If you've spoken to someone about your problems over a drink and you feel better afterwards, to a degree you've had a healing, right? Or if you're really stressed out and you go to the gym, it's by coming to healing, right? It's going from one place you don't want to be to a place you do want to be. It is the science of healing. So it makes it a science because it's based on principles, mechanisms, techniques, and then applications. So if you come to me with asthma, I follow a step-by-step protocol to treat asthma. It's a wealth of knowledge simplified into something that anyone can learn and anyone can do to get really good results.
What's it? Where is it? I was born in South London, and I was a handful. I wasn't the nicest child, I must admit. I didn't have much of a teenage time. When I finished school at 16, did my GCSEs, and then as soon as I finished, I joined the army at 16. So I didn't have much of a teenage time, really. Straight in the army, getting shouted at. Throughout my army days, I did 2 war tours of Iraq and 1 of Afghanistan. So in Iraq, I went as a driver and as bomb disposal. As a driver, there was some nasty stuff, not as bad. For instance, a big accident on one of the main routes going up to Baghdad, an American convoy of fuel tankers. It was a foggy day. A few of them were too close and they crashed. There was about 30 vehicles in total, but a few of the tanks ruptured and then caught on fire, but there was people trapped inside whilst it was on fire, so you're just helpless, can't really do much. So stuff like that sticks in my mind from Iraq. Afghan, actually, my best friend got blown up in front of me and died, so that's another horrible thing. At the time, I didn't really have much time to think about it. You're too busy, you're a bit numb to it all. It doesn't feel real. It's only when you have a bit of downtime that it settles in and you realise what has just happened. But yeah, at the time you're focusing on everything else. About 3 years ago is when I started noticing it most, but my wife noticed it more. And she'd been saying for a long time that I wasn't myself. She noticed that I was very moody, was happy 1 second, the next minute I was really angry over nothing. I just wasn't my normal cheeky self out there trying to trick everyone and have a laugh. And I started to sort of isolate myself from my friends, even at work. Yeah, and it sort of just spiralled out of control, got worse and worse, and I ended up staying in a sort of down, depressed mood. And that's when it sort of hit me that I need to see somebody and get some help.
Luke was a really interesting case. He, like me, was sceptical. He had been referred by his wife, got in contact with me. He really wasn't up for having any complementary therapy. He definitely wasn't up for having a no-touch complementary therapy. He was very, very nervous, very, very anxious, having massive flashbacks. He wasn't in a good way at all. He wasn't very vocal on his first session. He couldn't look at me, couldn't really make eye contact. It was really horrible to see actually at first, but I knew that he would get better with help. From the first session, we could see changes straight away.
Lowest point is probably when I first went to the doctors and had my wife with me, and the doctors go through sort of questions and how you're feeling and stuff, and they asked about suicidal thoughts and making plans and that sort of stuff, and I had to be honest, so I told them yes, I've had them, get them quite a lot, a few times a day, and just seeing my wife burst into tears about it because she wasn't aware of how bad it was. PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder. Anybody can get it. It doesn't have to be from something terrible like what I've done. It could just be from a car accident. And it's just basically your memories don't get stored in your brain where they normally should get stored. So for instance, your primary brain mode, like your fight, flight and freeze action that you get when something's happening, your adrenaline kicks in. When that happens for me, it brings back these memories because that's the feeling I had when those things were happening. So yeah, PTSD is where they're just not stored in the right place. So a feeling or an emotion can bring back that memory. I know there's no cure, but I'm just hoping that doing things like Pranic Healing are going to help find ways of managing it so you can have some sort of normal life. I don't know if Pranic Healing is going to help me or not, but I'm willing to give it a go. I didn't know much about it, I just thought it was some sort of weird thing that they did. I didn't know anything about it at all. Thought maybe it was like meditation, but once I spoke to her and she explained that it works with your chakras and your energies, and it sort of made sense. So yeah, we'll give it a go.
So Pranic Healing, there's nothing new about Pranic Healing. The techniques are very, very ancient in origin. However, they were only known by a select number of people throughout the world. And the founder of modern day Pranic Healing in our Hatha Yoga, a man called Master Cho Kok Sui, brought it into the public domain in 1987. And since then, it has spread into 126 countries worldwide. And it's even been utilised by the medical profession alongside orthodox medicine. Master Choa is an incredible man, incredible soul. He was a chemical engineer by profession. He was also a scientist and a very, very successful businessman. What Master Choa did was he studied inner teachings, esoteric teachings. So he studied teachings from different healing modalities. He studied the inner teachings of different faiths, cultures, religions. And over a 30-year period of meticulous analysis and experimentation, he put this huge wealth of information and knowledge into a very succinct, precise package called Pranic Healing and our Hatha Yoga to help alleviate suffering in every area of our lives. So there's lots of different levels of Pranic Healing. Level 1, you learn about simple healing, simple ailments like colds, coughs, headaches, backache, things like that. Level 2 is more advanced. It's advanced Pranic Healing, so you can treat people with more advanced conditions like cancer, heart disease. Level 3 is Pranic psychotherapy. So that's treating conditions like stress, anxiety, addictions, phobias.
You feeling okay, Luke?
Yeah, I feel nice and relaxed. I've not felt like this for a while.
That's good.
So it's a really exciting time now because people are more open to complementary therapies, and we are now making some progress in hospitals, and we're working with the NHS in certain hospitals in the UK, in the States and in India. I know that there's a lot of progress with implementing pranic healing alongside allopathic medicine in those hospitals. As well as training people to do pranic healing, we also have a charitable foundation, the MCKS Charitable Foundation, and we do a lot of good work by raising money across the country by putting on different events. We also run meditation groups, which are done on a voluntary basis by pranic healers, and all the funds raised through those groups are then put into the charity, and we support feeding programs for the homeless, we support children's hospices, we support hospitals. So we do some very, very good work, and we're raising a lot of money for good causes now.
Hi Nick, how are you?
All right, yeah?
Yes, very well, thank you. Take a seat. After his first session, when we finished the healing, he was making eye contact straight away because I could see there was a spark lifting in him. He knew that it helped him. He reported that his body completely relaxed, and he just looked like he knew that there was a chance, even though he felt very helpless still, because, you know, it was a new thing that he tried, so he wasn't quite sure what was happening, although you could see a little spark that he knew something was going to happen during the next series of treatments. That made me feel really good, because my passion from my background is now to help people, especially with mental health illnesses in whatever form, and to see him, the spark in his eyes and the change just after one session is magical.
All right. So I felt quite relaxed for the first 2 days, and that night I had a good night's sleep, so that was really good. Yeah, at the beginning I felt okay, but as it got further away from having the first session, I could feel myself sort of going back to where I started, like it was dropping off a bit, if that makes sense. Literally from the moment I woke up, I didn't feel as negative as I normally would. I felt like I had a bit more of a purpose in life, so them days that were quite constructive days, I was able to actually get on with stuff around the house, get in my workshop and actually do some stuff, rather than before I'd have to really force myself to do anything. So yeah, it was a big difference like that.
After Luke's second healing, he came to me and he reported, before we sat down and did the second healing, he reported that he'd been sleeping a lot better. He wasn't getting as many flashbacks just after one session. After the second healing, he was even brighter than the first healing, because he was then now beginning to realise how much it was going to help him. So yeah, it was really nice to see. So now Luke is at a stage where he is getting better and better with every session. He's engaging with all the tools and techniques that I've advised him to do, such as we teach specific breathing techniques away from the session. There's different meditations that I've advised him to do, such as the twin heart meditation. He's been doing that religiously and he's said that it's really helped him. And just recently he's invited us into his fire station, where we're now on a regular basis going in and helping the firefighters with 10-15 minute de-stress sessions, and they are all loving them. It's really helping them.
So you just come off night duty, have you?
Yeah.
So you need this.
Yeah. It's needed. Yes, I'm not so sceptical now, but as before I sort of was like, I'm in an RN, is it just a bit of mumbo jumbo sort of, you know, placebo effect almost. Whilst now, after feeling the benefits from it, I actually think it's great. I look forward to doing more of it. I'm about to have my second session with Marie, the Pranic healer. A little bit nervous about it, but I'm looking forward to feeling a bit more chilled out afterwards, like I did after the first session.
How are you feeling, Luke?
Okay.
Stay relaxed.
With Luke, I can see him getting stronger, I can see him getting better, I can see him focused a lot more already. He's calmer, he's making eye contact with me when he comes into the room now, he's more relaxed. So already there's big changes in just a couple of sessions.
I feel really good. I feel like I
Alright, not too bad yourself?
Yeah, good. So we're really lucky that we can do this session via FaceTime while we're in lockdown. You're up for experiencing it, so well done. So it works exactly the same. Everything is energy, so whether you're in the room or whether we're doing it on FaceTime, the treatment works exactly the same. So all you have to do, as normal, is just sit back, relax, do some deep abdominal breathing to relax into the session and just enjoy it. How have you been since your last session?
Ups and downs. I can definitely tell that I haven't been as regularly as I normally would. So yeah, I've been good, but not as good.
Yeah, we haven't done a session for a while, have we? So let's do this one today and see how you feel by the end.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. So
Yeah,
just sit back and
definitely.
relax.
How are you feeling anyway, Luke? Are you feeling more relaxed?
Yeah,
Can you feel it through?
I can, not as much though. It does. What's the word? Or distant, I suppose.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. Whereas before, like, the flashes I get are literally here.
Yeah.
Like claustrophobic almost. Like, oh god. My sister was they were quite far away, and it must be because it's through the phone.
Yeah, well, just relax because it might get more intense. Okay, Luke. Just come back round slowly. Just finished. How are you feeling?
Well, a bit hazy as normal. But yeah, I feel better. A lot more chilled out.
Good. Good. So it's normal. Just let the energy work around the system. Avoid showering for the next 24 hours. And I'll see you in a week's time if you'd like to book another FaceTime in a week's time, because obviously we'll still be in lockdown.
Okay, definitely.
All
Well,
right.
thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, take care.